The jury in Walterboro gone for the day as attorneys hammer out what potential testimony could be presented in the Alec Murdaugh murder trial. Murdaugh is trying to prove that he did not gun down his wife Maggie and youngest son Paul on the night of June 7, 2021, or more precisely, the prosecution is trying to prove that he did. Our team coverage continues right now from the Collin County Courthouse and McGill. Blair Sable and Cameron Bopp are all live in Walterboro. And we'll start with you. The jury didn't spend much time in the courtroom today. Why is that?
Well, Rob, that's because the judge is trying to determine just how much they should be allowed to hear of Alec Murdaugh's alleged financial crimes. So those arguments can't happen in front of the jury. So this morning, jurors spent just 15 minutes in court from 10:11 until 10:26. And then after that, they were dismissed for lunch. And then they were able to come back and they were in court for about an hour and a half. They are now gone for the day, but testimony or potential testimony still happening right now. The judge hearing from witnesses, again, who may be allowed to talk about Alec Murdaugh's money problems. Blair Sable was in the courtroom for that. Blair, what does that mean for the case?
Well, sure. And right now, the judge, he is hearing that testimony with the jury out of the courtroom, and it has really been a hurdle for the state for the last couple of months and even well into this trial. But either way it goes, it could be a game changer for this case moving forward. The defense has continued to advocate against it, saying that the state has continued to not establish a clear connection between the alleged financial crimes and the murders. Judge Clifton Newman says he is happy to hear as much evidence and testimony as possible, despite the length it could add to this trial. But again, he has still not made a decision as of yet. He's asked for both sides to come to a consensus, but attorney Justin Bamberg, who has been sitting in on the trial, says it's probably unlikely.
It's a very, very sticky situation that they're in. You know, if they concede, well, then he could be doomed here. If they fight it, they could lose anyway, but at least they go down fighting. And, you know, what do they have to lose but stretching trial out for an extra month or 2 months?
Well, the state says they have got several witnesses lined up to make their case to the judge, as they are doing right now. And if he allows it, we'll be hearing from them twice in total. Another time so the jury can hear their testimony for themselves. And though the jury wasn't really in the courtroom much today, Alec Murdaugh was still there sitting, listening in to these alleged crimes. He is accused of millions of dollars. They say that he stole from clients, family, and friends. Cameron Bopp was also in the courtroom today. And Cameron, what was his reaction to these accusations?
Blair, it came as a stark contrast to yesterday's emotional testimony from some of Paul Murdaugh's best friends. That testimony and the playback of some videos made Murdaugh cry several times. Now, meanwhile, today, the complete opposite. While listening to testimony about how Murdaugh allegedly stole millions of dollars from clients, friends, and close family, including his brother, who was in the courtroom today, nothing. Stiff as a board. I mean, it was the quietest I've seen him so far since the trial started. Now, typically when the prosecution is making their case, giving a testimony, Murdaugh's defense has talked with each other, especially in recent days. A lot of interaction between Murdaugh, Dick Harpootlian, and Jim Griffin. Now today, not much talk between any of them. On the flip side, the gallery, incredibly talkative today, and actually the most packed the courtroom has been so far. A high school journalism class is in attendance today. People are traveling from as far as Washington, D.C. for this trial, and the courtroom hasn't just been talkative, but reactive. As Griffin cross-examined a second juror as a potential witness, she snapped back at him at one point, even getting a few laughs from the courtroom. And keep in mind, the jury was ordered to leave hours ago at this point.
Which your client stole, yes.
Now, as second juror testified, she also went through the individual documents that show the money that Alec had allegedly stolen and the car crash cases that he had represented and the people that had lost loved ones in those cases. Now, of course, he's cried every time his family is brought up, anytime videos of his family are brought up. But meanwhile, these families who he allegedly stole millions from, there was no emotion from him today. And
All right, thank you, Cameron. Again, the jury has been dismissed for the day. That testimony, though, still going on about those potential witnesses who may be allowed to testify in front of jurors. Now, the jury will be back at 11:30 tomorrow morning, Rob, but court will likely start at 9:30 so that the judge and the attorneys can continue hearing more about these potential witnesses who may talk about Alec Murdaugh's alleged financial crimes. Reporting live outside of the Colleton County Courthouse in Walterboro, Ann McGill, Live 5 News.
And thank you. We will be in the courtroom throughout the trial, bringing you the latest on air and online. Our Live 5 team coverage of the Murdaugh murder trial will continue at 6 o'clock this evening. For more on the Murdaugh case, we have a tab full of the stories that led up to this complicated trial. If you'd like to get up to speed or learn more about what's happening, head over to live5news.com, click on the News tab, and you'll find the stories that started it all.